Hello and welcome to our video on graphing trigonometric functions using your CAS calculator. Now for this we need to use the graph and table function. So you need to click on that from the main screen, open up your graph and table, and the first one we're going to try and draw is y equals sine of x. Once you've typed it in, you can press the EXE button down here on your keyboard to make sure it's ticked. Or if you don't want to press EXE, once you've finished typing it in, you can just tick it yourself. But you need to make sure it's ticked so it shows up down here. Once you've done that, click on the graph picture to make sure that it shows up on the graph part of the screen. This is probably not what you were expecting the graph of y equals sine x to look like. So we need to have a bit of a think about what's going on here. The first thing I want to point out to you is that we've got degrees mode down here. You do need to make sure you're keeping it real, but usually when we're graphing trigonometric functions we're using radians. So let's just flick that over to radians. That's gradians, don't need that. Rad, keep it real. Radians is what we want, and it's looking more like our sine graph that we're used to. Let's go up and have a look at some of the functions up here we've used before. This one here will automatically fit it to your screen. That's this button here. This button here is your box zoom. Click it and then zoom on a particular part of the graph so you can see it a bit more clearly. I'm just going to zoom out again. This one here will let you choose which values you'd like to see, the x minimum and the x maximum, the y minimum and y maximum. You can choose anything there. Here we can find the maximum, the minimum, and the x-intercepts. Now what we do notice though is one period is just over 6, which is not what we're expecting with radians. We're expecting this to be in pi and 2 pi. So we'd expect half a period to be a pi and a full period to be a 2 pi. And what you find is the calculator will not show you exact values in the graph. It will only show it as decimal values. But I think you'll agree, if you look, we might zoom in closer on this x-intercept here. Just go back to the zoom box. And it's just a little bit past 3. And if we went to look at the x-intercept, we would find that it's 3.14. Looking at it longer there, and if you click on that, here is pi. That's what we're looking for. So it is showing us pi, but we need to actually use our brain a little bit to make sure that we can draw this properly. So here's your 2 pi, which is just a little bit more than 6. So you just need to keep that in mind when you're finding the x-intercepts and the y-intercepts. If you wanted to look at it in degrees, you could click back on here to get the degrees. It kind of looks like a straight line, but what this actually is it's zoomed in, because half a period will be pi radians, which is 180 degrees, and a full period is 360. So if I zoom this one here, still not helpful. I might try zoom, quick, and trig. There we go. So from here to here, well, this is 630. From here to here is going to be 360. So it will still work in degrees, but you need to keep in mind whether you're using degrees or radians. And in advanced maths we hardly ever use degrees. We'll mostly use radians, so you want to keep this in radians form. using the analysis and G-solve menu, you can find your usual things, the x-axis intercepts, the minimum or the maximum, the y-intercept, and any x values given a y value or any y values given an x value. Thanks for watching the video today.